Folks, I got to tell you that this whole event today would not have been possible without the financial support and contributions of Americans for Prosperity. These are boots on the ground, values-oriented, values-driven, not affiliated with any political party or candidate. They're here because we know that at the end of the day, it's the values that matter. We proved that in North Carolina in May, when 60% of the voters voted in favor of the marriage amendment. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, probably a few Libertarians too. So on behalf of Americans for Prosperity, we want to bring up our next speaker. Kyle Hall is the North Carolina Field Coordinator for AFP. He's a graduate of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Go Wolfpack. I don't hold it against him. Yeah. And he does live right down the road in King. He's always been a conservative, as exemplified by his 2008 Outstanding Teenage Republican in the Nation Award. So this is a man that started young and is keeping it going. So let's keep it going for Kyle Hall.
Thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad to see so many people here. As a Stokes County native, I just want to say welcome to all of you foreigners. I hope that you stay even longer and invest in the Stokes County economy. And I also want to thank the Surry County Tea Party patriots like Kevin Chenault and Paula Stanley and Joe and Amos Elvis and Steve Bennett with Stand Up North Carolina. If it wasn't for them, none of this would have happened. They've worked tirelessly all summer and they deserve a round of applause. And I'm just going to say this, that was a tough act to follow. I don't think I'm going to be able to compete with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you that disclaimer. But I serve as the Western North Carolina Field Coordinator for Americans for Prosperity. And I hope all of you have heard of Americans for Prosperity before. If not, we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit, grassroots organization committed to economic freedom through cutting taxes, cutting government spending, ensuring that a patient and a doctor make health care decisions in this nation, cutting crippling government entitlement programs and regulations, and ensuring that all American energy barriers are lifted. You need me to lift this up? I'm a little too tall for this. So like I said, Americans for Prosperity, we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit, grassroots organization. I urge you all to become an active member of Americans for Prosperity. Now, every meeting that I go to, I ask the same question, and I ask them, how many of you feel your children and grandchildren will be able to live the American dream? And at every meeting, no hand ever goes up. Now this is a problem. When the American dream is at stake and our children, our grandchildren are left with a far worse country than we inherited. You know, the founding fathers, 56 men, met in a room in July of 1776, and they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, and a belief of self-governance, and a belief that rights come from God, not from king, and a belief that man has the right to be independent and that all men are created equal. And then look what happens in America. No country in the world in history has ever produced more wealth, more prosperity, more freedom of opportunity, more liberty than the United States under a capitalist free market system, and we're not ashamed of it. And America has been an exceptional country, and we're not ashamed of that either. You know, folks, people aren't dying to get into China. They're not dying to get into France. They're not dying to get into Brazil. And nothing against these countries, and there's no reason for us to be arrogant. But we have to realize how truly exceptional America is, and we shouldn't be ashamed of it. The left wants us to hide this. They want the rest of the world to catch up to America. I don't, because I believe in American exceptionalism. The left thinks they know what's good for you, that government can make the best decisions on your behalf. Well, we know better, because we've experienced a left for the past 4 years. President Obama, he may have taken office during a difficult time in American history, but let's look at what he's done. We've had 43 months of unemployment above 8% in this country. And in some counties in North Carolina, this is no lie, In some counties in North Carolina, unemployment's at 20%. And really, if you consider underemployment and the fact that a lot of people aren't even considered part of the unemployment rate in this country is closer to 20%. We have a $16 trillion national debt. This should aggravate all of you, because if you were to stack $100 bills 7 feet high and cover these stacks all across this field, you would still not reach $16 trillion. It would take 16 football fields worth of these stacks of 7-foot $100 bills to fill $16 trillion. Just think about that. And instead of fixing the #1 issue in this country, which was the economy and jobs, President Obama instead decided to take a $1.73 trillion takeover of our health care. And he's invested billions of dollars in wasteful green energy scams like Solyndra. And if those of you who don't know what Solyndra is, it was a green energy maker that contributed millions of dollars to the Obama campaign, only to then receive $500 million in taxpayer money. And then the company went bankrupt. And instead of firing employees, the Obama administration continued to funnel money into this failed company because they didn't want them laying off employees before the November 2010 elections. This is cronyism. And let's look at how anti-business and anti-free market the left really is. I don't know if many of you remember this, but the Democrats had this big meeting down in Charlotte, just down the road, and nobody really cared, but you remember that empty stadium they couldn't fill? Remember the fact that they couldn't call it Bank of America Stadium, they had to call it Panther Stadium. And remember, the convention was held at the Time Warner Cable Arena, and they couldn't call it Time Warner Cable Arena, they had to call it Bobcat Arena. Now let's think about this. For one, you're not going to find Bobcat Arena in a telephone book in Charlotte. And the other thing is, how low, how anti-business, how anti-free market can you be when you have to call the arena Bobcat Arena? And no offense to the Charlotte Bobcats, but they are the worst NBA team, not only last season, but in the history of the NBA. How anti-business can you be? It's time to kick them out, and it's time to replace them with pro-free market, pro-business people. And we can't stop there. We have to hold those people accountable for the things that they do in office. There has to be a watchdog to protect us. And that's what Americans for Prosperity is for. And now for this election and for future elections, I'm sure we're calling people all across North Carolina. We're trying to locate undecided individuals in this state because we need to go to them. And we need to educate them on the simple fact that President Obama's economic policies cannot continue. And so today we're going to be phone banking for the Americans for Prosperity tent. And I urge you all to go over there because this work definitely needs to be done, or the policies of 2013 and beyond will remain what they are today. And the American dream will no longer be there for your children and your grandchildren. And so please come over to the Americans for Prosperity tent. I have some prizes to give away. For every 2 hours of phone banking that you do, you are entered into a free round trip to Los Angeles to attend the red carpet premiere of Atlas Shrugged Part 2. And each caller who makes 30 minutes of calls receives a free AFP t-shirt. They're pretty damn sexy, if I do say so myself. And also, there are free Krispy Kreme donuts and soft drinks for phone bankers up there. And for whoever comes in with the most time on the phones up there will receive a $100 Amazon gift card and a signed Marco Rubio book. Second place, a $50 Amazon gift card and a signed Marco Rubio book. Third place gets a $30 Amazon gift card, and fourth place gets a $20 gift card. And so we're going to be doing it up there till 4:30 until the very end of this. But then the party continues at Garanco, a construction office in downtown Pilot Mountain. The phone bank will continue. We have a free barbecue dinner for all of you volunteers. And everybody that comes and volunteers for the 3 hours will receive a free $25 gift card to Amazon. And so, okay, got time here. All right, so Thank you all for coming today, and please visit the Americans for Prosperity tent for more information and for phone banking. Thank you.